this house is 100% wood, and this man has an axe, and you just put a dresser in front of it, a wood dresser, and sit on the ground.
This house was made of cardboard. Okay, the entire house was made of wood flavored cardboard. Hello and welcome to another episode of A Ghost in the Magazine. I'm Steph,
And I'm Elle.
and we're covering The Strangers Chapter 1. Not to be confused with The Strangers, the other one that we covered.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one we watched in the movie theater. Okay. Did you like it?
I had a good time. I wouldn't say that I liked it or it was a good movie, but I had fun.
Yes. And we both opted not to see this movie alone. Because I watch mad movies by myself. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just something like
This one wasn't even my choice. I was going to watch this alone, and then I was gonna go to the matinee at 4:50, and then like my brother heard that I was going, and he sent me a text message like, "Can you please go to the 6 or 7 p.m. one because I don't want to watch a stranger's movie by myself." My brother.
me and Nate
Okay.
opted not
It
to.
was it was his it was his doing because I was fine with watching this alone at this point. After facing the OG again, I was like, "Do your worst." And this one didn't scare me at all.
No, it wasn't scary. I thought it made some like really interesting choices because
Mhm.
it really was a remake. It really
Yeah.
was very much a remake. Is there a second Strangers movie? Like,
Yeah, there is. And I tried to start watching it to like do this, but it's a family of four, a mom and two and dad and two kids. And when it got to the point where he was gutting the mom in front of the daughter and they were like making eye contact and crying, I couldn't do it anymore. I had to turn it off.
that's necessary. Like, we don't have to involve kids
Mm-mm,
at all. We don't have to do
mm-mm.
that.
I just
Okay.
can't do that. I mean, it's not even the thing is the script as far as I got into the movie was absolute dog shit, and it wasn't like there wasn't any redeeming thing to the storytelling that made it compelling enough for me to deal with that psychological trauma because all that
Right.
is traumatic.
Yes, because we know there's no reason. We
Mm-mm.
know there's no motive. So, and like there still isn't. So the characters is the redhead from Riverdale and the guy I don't know if he's been in, if he's been in other things, but I like him.
I was saying from the beginning he was like an off-brand Dean Winchester, so I was so unsurprised when Steph said that to me.
I like him. I said that I liked the last guy, but it was only because he was in Underworld. Like I liked the actor, but I actually liked this character because like he had no douchey elements at all, which is so surprising because I feel like most horror movie boyfriends have a little douche, if not full douche. You know what I mean? Like it's almost a requirement at this point. And he was just very but the most interesting thing to me, and I don't know how you felt about it, or how anyone else could feel about it, even though I loved him, and I think she's really pretty. Something about her character, though, I I just I feel like maybe she was overacting. Maybe
Mm.
I wasn't emotionally invested in like their relationship, like the emotional aspect. It was like not even there. They could have been roommates. I didn't care. I didn't care about
Mm.
the marriage stuff. I thought it was interesting that how they spun it.
Mhm.
Like, she's a powerhouse, and she said at the beginning she didn't want to get married, and she was like, "You haven't proposed to me." He's like, "Oh, you want to get married now?" And then he like proposes while he's dying. I didn't
Yeah.
care about. I just
Yeah, I think that was a storytelling choice that they made. I think that the actors didn't have great chemistry, although they did try to set it up. And some of the camera work that they did, like there were a lot of shots. Okay, so when he comes back and with the food, which he just left the burgers on the floor. Well, okay, but anyway, he comes back with the food and he's talking to her. There's like this effect with the camera where like the background softens around him and it's really bright on his face, and he's just like he looks very blurry and his eyes are very big and he just looks very angelic and beautiful.
Yeah,
And
he
I'm
did.
saying that as somebody who is like not my type. I'm not into that at all. But I think it was very much like supposed to be like that like shot of love between the two of them, like they were trying to like play up that relationship, but I just don't think it was enough in the end.
No, it wasn't. That's the thing, that there was no chemistry between them, and there was mad chemistry between Liv Tyler and Scott Speedman. I tell you what,
There was
I was like, oh, I'm blushing, like, and she had just rejected his proposal.
yeah, yeah. But the thing about that is I think that that gave kind of an interesting amount of stakes at the beginning because there was so much emotion between them.
Yeah,
It's not all great emotion because some of it is like, you know, being jilted or like whatever, like not getting what you want out of the relationship, despite the fact that the relationship could have been very healthy relationship once he got over the fact that she just wasn't ready to get married yet, because there was so much love there and there's so much chemistry between them on screen as well, so they sold it really easily. This one, she's gorgeous though. I her nail color and her lip color, I was like, God damn it, I wish I wasn't a winter. Like I can't wear any warm tones because it looks fucked up on me. But like they're so pretty. And I think that really like her in that setting, because there's a very warm tone to the like the whole color palette of the setting.
yeah.
It was gorgeous. It was really pretty. Um I do want to say though, I have to say this. I'm from the Pacific Northwest. My brother's from the Pacific Northwest. I drive to Portland, Oregon at least a few times a year. I come from Eastern Washington. Um 300, they said like 300 miles from Portland, but they were showing Eastern Oregon. That is not what Eastern Oregon looks like. It looks like a scrub desert. Think the Oregon Trail. That is what Eastern Oregon looks like. What you saw, like the trees and shit, that's like coastal Oregon or maybe Bend, which is only like, I don't know, nowhere near 300 miles. I was looking at it, it was like something like it was past Hermiston even, like way far over on the east end, and that looks more like Utah and Idaho than it does like the green uh Cascade side of Oregon. So that was very off. However, the
Yeah.
weird hillbillies, spot on for Eastern Oregon, spot on for Eastern Washington. Everything east of the Cascades, psychopaths. Every single one of them.
That's so funny. I was waiting to hear what you were going to say about the scenery because I've only been to the Pacific Northwest once for a week and it was awesome. But I was also like,
Yeah, you were only on the west side though. You were only on the west side of the Cascades. I did not take Steph east because Steph has melanin in her skin and the people out here are fucked. I'm not doing that to you.
best friend who protects you from racists.
Yeah. I live in a community that has one of those glowing crosses up on the hill that they say aren't white supremacist based, but absolutely are tied back to the KKK. It is not a nice place to be. The fact that they have these unhinged psychopaths coming from there, from that community, 100% tracks. 100%.
I'm so tired.
But you know how much that would have freaked me out when I was younger? They're saying this is chapter one. This is like kind of like rebooting, restarting. To say that those people from that OG were from Eastern Oregon or Eastern Washington, I would have shit bricks because I was already scared to death of this movie. And
Yeah.
that tracks so well.
Well, okay. So, like, the whole beginning of this movie, I thought it was a very good homage to all the stuff in the first one that we were really like, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
with the little religious boys with the book. I love that they put that at the beginning.
Right.
And it's like a convergence of all the weird people. It was very uncomfortable, but I have to say, they were white, the couple. So if they had not, at least half of them had been a different color, they wouldn't have stopped at that place in
No.
the beginning. Like they wouldn't have stopped there. Okay.
Mm.
My like the hair on the back of my neck, everything was screaming, don't do that. At least like no, don't do it. Don't do it. The guy did do the thing. Or who was it? It was the guy, wasn't it? Who was
Hmm.
like, "Oh, you're being crazy." Like, "Oh no, it was the girl."
Mm.
See, that's another thing why I like the guy because it's so obvious that they did something to the car
Yeah.
while they were inside because you don't go in, okay, you're across the street from a garage and then all of a sudden it's not working.
About the car problems.
Yeah.
That's not how an alternator would work if it was
No.
out. Ask me how I know.
Well, he had asthma.
Yeah.
They gave
Yeah.
him asthma. And you just know as the instant that inhaler comes out, he's gonna lose that shit. He's gonna drop it somewhere because he's a man. Oh, sorry. He's gonna drop it. Like, he's not gonna feel it fall out of his pocket. And then he's gonna have an asthma attack. But I was like, fellow asthma, keep a strap on your inhaler. Jeez. Keep that thing on you.
Yeah, it's just like if you have some kind of issue, like honestly, okay, I just have stomach problems. And you know what? I have like a pill case in my purse. I have one in the little bag that I take with me when I go out to shows. I have one in my fanny pack for when I go to shows and in case I get indigestion, I have Gas-X pills, I have Pepto pills, I have two different kinds of antacids just as a tummy ache queen. I carry that shit with me in like three different bags. I can't
I
imagine
keep
having asthma and not doing that.
I just I have lactose intolerance and I keep that lactate on me in case I need an emergency ice cream because I'm sad. Okay? I'm like, now that I know I have asthma, I keep the emergency inhaler in my back.
Yeah. Yeah, you would think it would
Before
be on your person in some way, right?
But he
But
left it in the car. He
yeah.
left it in the car. And then she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't put it back in the It's not your responsibility. You just grabbed it for him. He's the one with asthma."
I could come up with okay though. Since we're already skipping to the asthma part, like I want to drop this on you. Okay. We can have a totally different movie if like it's the bitch knocks in the beginning and is like, "Is Tamara home?" You'd be like, "What's up? I'm Tamara. Let's smoke. Come on. Come on in. Tamara's right here, bitch."
Okay, it literally they would just punch the bitch in the face when they answered the door. I know that that's not how things were, and we've seen both movies, so we're like on red alert. I think in real life situations we might actually do some harm because we watch too many scary movies, but better safe than sorry. My complaint about this girl, okay? I was waiting. I love the different reasons for them doing the things that they did in the original movie. So he had to leave on the convenient motorcycle because because they didn't have car issues in the first um
Mhm.
and they didn't have a family home in this movie. They have an Airbnb. Let's modernize that hoe, right? So he has to leave on the motorcycle to get his inhaler because he's an asthma. And this girl, she saw me in the past. Okay. She found the tequila. Okay. She drank two little tequilas. Okay. On top of the two little tequilas, mind you, she's by herself in the woods. Okay. In an unfamiliar woods. And her man, the beef, left. And she decides to smoke on top of it, girl. It's so dumb. You're you are you're no longer functioning. You're non-functional. Your brain, she's off. Why would you do that? She's just smoking away.
Mhm. The
No.
okay, remember how like integral like the kind of like indie tracks that they were playing their like folk indie type of soundtrack on the original movie. But this one, they pick like my mom's like album Arena Rock collection, okay? They had fucking Styx. They had Nights in White Satin by the Moody Blues. Like, really, motherfucker? This is what we're doing. But that is so Eastern fucking Washington, dude. That is so Eastern Washington, Eastern Oregon, old white folks, dude.
They got that stuff down pat, and I like it.
They just got the fucking environment wrong. That's the only thing that took me out, and it took me out for a good minute. Like, I was actually like, Googling how far along the Gorge Highway you would have to be 300 miles out to try to figure out like how close we were to like the Idaho border there. Because I drove through there when I moved back from Ohio, and I drive through the gorge like I said a couple times a month sometimes, and that's not what it looks like, bro. That's not what it looks like.
They just counted on most of the people watching this not being from where you are.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
one's gonna help us out on this. Well, we have a podcast, buddy. I just kept thinking about how paranoid she would have to be in this situation, and then allowed him to be like, "Bitch, are you smoking? You silly. That's why you're seeing faces in this house."
And then there's like a sad clown painting on the wall.
And in my mind, I'm like, don't patronize me, but there have been moments, like especially if you're crossfaded, I can't be trusted. Maybe I did see the sad clown in the dark, and you weren't here, and I was lit. I'm sorry. Maybe I would be. Yep, I would be questioning myself. That's hilarious.
And then once they're not questioning anymore and we have our here's Johnny moment, they just like, this house is 100% wood and this man has an axe, and you just put a dresser in front of it, a wood dresser, and sit on the ground.
This house was made of cardboard. Okay, the entire house was made of wood flavored cardboard. Just you could just peel the wall back, okay? It had probably had termites and shit. Y'all are not safe. And then they go sit by a window that's made out of glass.
It's like, why don't you get out? Like, I'm sorry.
Open the window and run away.
And they had so many chances to get out of this though. Like the one that I can't shut up about is the one where she's like, what exactly what I would do as a seasoned Eastern Washingtonian that is used to fucking crazy hillbillies. I'm gonna go be Moss. I'm going to go into the woods and be Moss, and you can find me like 3 fucking days later. You know how quiet I could be if I really wanted to be?
Yeah, but she uncovers her face and she's literally glow in the dark white.
Same.
Any mud on her girl, cover yourself in dirt. I am okay. Okay? Can't see me in the darkness.
Right. Like, but like the way that you could disappear, literally disappear in the woods like that. And she had it down until she was like trying to use that flip phone to call for help.
I'm gonna use the phone. Not yet.
Well, I don't buy that there is even like any bars out there to begin with.
Like she was FaceTiming. I don't think that cabin had Wi-Fi. I mean, the refrigerator didn't even work.
No.
Normal guy who was coming to fix the refrigerator got shot.
He was Dennis Reynolds in this one. I do like that they put a Dennis Reynolds in there. So
yeah, but like they didn't even know him, you know.
yeah.
So that sounds so bad. That sounds really mean. But like he's a stranger, and the guy was so proud of himself too. I got him. I got him, sir.
It wouldn't be that easy.
I think I would need some recovery time after shotgunning an old man.
Yeah. Well, okay, so after that, they get in this altercation because they're like, yes, the old man had a vehicle. Let's get out of here. His leg is stuck. She gets out, becomes Moss. He's in this showdown, gets them away. The guy left the truck there. Another thing is, how is his leg magically unstuck now? Because it was stuck to the point where he couldn't get out before, and now it's unstuck. And he's just walking pretty normal.
I don't. Well, and he's also screaming like a little girl. I'm like, why are you screaming in the woods when there's killers who are like actively looking for you? And he gets one and he doesn't immediately shoot her. He's talking. Why? There's two others. Why are you bothering about asking this one where your girlfriend is? She might not even know. Shoot
Right,
her.
and he didn't hesitate when he dropped that old man, but he hesitates with this woman.
I'm an equal opportunity shooter. Just kidding. I don't know.
If I'm in
I'm
that
just
situation, yes, but at the same time, if I'm in that situation, my ass would have been Moss from the get, or I would have been hanging out with those chickens. Like, I feel like those chickens could have helped a little bit,
well, they
like
did kill one
distract. They
though.
did kill one, but I feel like you're not looking for the weird bitch out like hanging out with the chickens, you're looking looking for the but I mean he could have got in their truck. Okay, she's being Moss. Let her be Moss. Get in the truck, get the fuck out, right?
Yeah, but he's the hero guy. I'm not leaving without you. And like honestly, I hate to say this, and I don't ever want Freddie to like hear this clip, but I'm not equipped to save you. I do know how to drive though.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I
we'll go
mean,
get
in that situation, I would want personally, if that was my man, I would want him to go. Because I'm fucking capable of being Moss. I am absolutely in this situation. I am set. Like the other one, not so much. I don't know where the fuck they were. Like the OG movie was set. It didn't seem as Pacific Northwest foresty as this. Like I would just want my man to cut loose and go. But
I don't like I don't know what that says about me, but like in theory, yes, but like if you leave me and I survive, I'm gonna feel some kind of way about it. I
I'm
know that.
not.
At least I know that about myself ahead of time. Like, really, you fucking left me there. You didn't even know I was Moss. You left me to
Yeah.
fend for myself.
I feel like if I'm fucking you, if we're that close, I mean, you've been around me enough to know I'd be hanging out with chickens. I'd be like out. I am a weird bitch. Like it doesn't take long to get to know that. So like to get to the level where I'm good in a survival situation like that, in that specific one. Otherwise, I'm running towards the gun. So then you don't have to worry about me either. I'm a low maintenance girlfriend in this situation. I'm just
Yeah, I'll run towards the gun also, but then now I'm wondering like what that kickback feel like. Is it gonna take me out like
mm-hmm.
old Pearl?
I would have rather been like shot in this situation than getting stabbed in the gut to bleed out. Like,
Oh, I never want that.
mm-mm.
I never want to know what that feels like. I think that that's what, but they know that. That's why they choose those things. They do. Let's talk about when they were under the floor.
Yeah, that was very reminiscent to me of the Texas Chainsaw 2022 one we just watched because they get under there. Why didn't you stay? They didn't know they were under there.
I literally have no idea.
She did give
Um,
herself tetanus, and then he fucking tripped outside and fucked his leg up, which is just standing by the beginning scene where it's like just let them fuck themselves up. They will kill themselves because they're scared and stupid.
but I think he was better at like twisting his ankle and running away than Liv Tyler was.
Mm-hmm.
That
And
literally almost ended her.
this bitch totally had tetanus. She was gonna die of tetanus if she didn't get out of there, and she didn't scream.
No.
She was real
Whole
good.
like nailed, yeah,
Yeah,
like stigmata situation.
I don't know if
She
I what
literally
I would do in that sitch, just because it would be so weird to see. My grandpa did that once with a nail gun
uh
when he was building the shed at my mom and dad's. Shot his hand through.
oh my god.
I
That
almost dropped. I almost puked just seeing it happen to my grandpa. So I don't know.
this huge made my butthole clench. I can't see that. Not in real life. Like I can watch anything that's fake. I
Yeah.
the stuff though, like I almost pass out getting my blood taken. I can't do it.
There were so many things about it that like I think that they because like the screaming, her lack of screaming, that was one big criticism we had of Liv Tyler's character. It's like, why are you constantly letting them know where you are? She did a really good job of capping that. It's almost like the people who wrote this one like went and read the criticism of the people who watched the movie. And I mean, it wasn't us because this was already like out, before we did our episode, but I'm sure that what our criticisms were very similar to everyone else's. Yeah, and watching this in the theater, like I was having a fucking great time. I was cracking jokes. People around me were laughing. I was probably the oldest person in that theater though, which surprised me. They were all like teenagers and early 20s people. I'm sitting here, in my 30s, like the elderly dude in the room.
I live in South Florida though. There was a pretty mixed bag in my theater, and I wasn't really talking throughout the movie except when they show like that shot of the masked guy like moving his body, and I was like, "Ugh."
Yeah, I said, why does he run like a nerd? And that actually got a laugh from people around us because he was running like the way that that girl ran when she ran away. That's the same way that the fucking big guy ran. The other thing about that big guy is in the old movies, he gave me old man energy. I was like, that man is like 60 years old underneath that mask. This time I was like, oh, he's probably in his 20s. I don't know why. I just like I pick up
Well,
on energy.
probably that, but also because they did a little bit too much showing us the townies in this movie, and so I'm like,
Mm,
it's them,
mm-hmm,
it's those people. They're
mm-hmm.
very involved. It's them.
Yeah, I thought that too. I did think that, but I was like, it
Yeah.
doesn't tell us that. But see, I like that because last time we had like nothing to play with mentally the whole time. We're just like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
There's no like there's no suspicion written into it at all, which was like one of the critiques because I like to have that. I like to have something to toy with a little bit when I'm watching a
This was
movie.
very,
Yeah,
yeah, it was
it,
very sus.
I had a fucking great time watching this movie. Is it a good movie? No. Did I have a fantastic time? Hell yes. But one thing about those scenes like where she becomes Moss, like those hiding scenes, I just want somebody to make a movie where like the character rips ass and that's how they get revealed. Like I think that would be so funny. Just like they just shit their pants.
Guys, like the scary poops are a thing.
Yes. The big critique that I will give this, and this is a critique that doesn't really matter because like I said, I had a good time. Is it seemed
Yeah.
like their weaknesses and their strengths like played to when they needed them for the plot to advance the way that they wanted to advance the plot. Because there's a point too where he just like full on like Hulk Hogan rips his fucking shirt and makes a bandage out of the bottom of his shirt for her when she's got tetanus. And
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the bitch that like can't fucking breathe like 5 seconds later. And he like starts his asthma attack like in the beginning, which is why he goes to town to get the inhaler. But I never see him take a hit off the inhaler until he drops it. And then he uses like a water bottle thing, which I guess that's probably a trick that I don't know about. But
Know about it either, but I was like, that's really good to know if that's real.
mm-hmm.
But my thing is, my experiences with asthma are like my own trying to exercise, and then the little boy from Science. So I'm just like, what, um, what is triggering
Right.
the asthma? Because there were at least one or two incidents that didn't, and I feel like they should have.
Exactly. And then like the one that did, I was kind of like, why now? Why
Yeah.
now of all the times?
Yeah.
Because there are so many points where he was like exerting himself more physically, where he's been scared more, it seemed like. And it was just like it very much just felt like it was kind of like there to advance the plot in certain
Yeah.
areas. And I
Yeah.
mean, that's all right because like I said, I had a good time. I'm not really, but if I was like nitpicking, that was like the annoying thing about this one.
Yes. Yeah. So like I had a good time, but again, this is a remake, and it felt like they said, "Okay, this is what we have," and I like it. I like
Mhm.
if you're gonna do a remake, give me a little extra, give me a little sass, And they said, "All right, how can we change this and still keep the shit?" but at the same time, the original wasn't even groundbreaking. So,
Mm-mm.
you know,
Yeah. I'm gonna give this one a 3.5, the same as I gave X, because again, I had a good time. I liked it. Not a movie that I would seek out if I hadn't been told that I should watch it for the podcast.
so I'm also gonna give it a 3.5 because I'm not gonna watch this movie again.
Hmm.
It's like watched, put it over there. It's you know,
It was fun. It
it's
was
good.
fun. It was a fun experience. Won't watch it again either. Like it was nice. I do appreciate that I had this experience in the theater. It made it funner.
Yeah, for sure. Because I feel like if I watched it at home, I would have been very like,
Yeah.
I would have been on TikTok. I would have tuned out. So
Same.
yeah, this was good.
Instead, I
So yeah,
focused and I sent you a bunch of text messages.
yeah, I live for L text message commentary, okay? You would too, but you're not gonna get it. So in the meantime, you can find this podcast on the interweb at ghostinthemagazine.site. You can find it on Instagram at GITM Podcast. You can find me on Instagram at Steph Spector.
You can find me at Nocturnical.
Okay, bye.